That is until Travis Kelce pushed the train off the tracks. Travis Kelce, I'm not your dragon either, Ryan. He unfollowed the actor on Instagram.
Ryan Reynolds is spiraling after Travis Kelce publicly exposed him for backing a fake company used to legitimize stolen texts in Blake Lively's messy lawsuit.
So we haven't seen all the facts yet, according to Ryan Reynolds.
The drama hit a boiling point when Kelce unfollowed him on Instagram, sending shockwaves through Hollywood and turning Reynolds into the face of Blake's legal disaster.
He is getting darker and darker.
Travis Kelce didn't just hit unfollow on Instagram. He body slammed Ryan Reynolds off the red carpet with one thumb. And this wasn't some random digital detox, no. This was April 2025, baby. The weekend of the Time 100 Gala, Wrexham's PR-fueled victory parade, and oh yeah, Blake Lively's legal drama melting down faster than her box office credibility.
Good for them. I'm rooting for Wrexham and the team, but I just hate how Ryan and specifically Blake now get to use this as sort of a big PR opportunity for them. It's frustrating to me, I gotta be honest.
Timing? Immaculate. This wasn't just an unfollow. It was a mic drop. A get me out of this mess before it goes full Amber Heard sequel kind of moment. Because let's be real, Travis didn't just scroll by. He looked at Ryan Reynolds and said, "I'm not your dragon either, bro." That's how messy things have gotten. And let's not ignore the silent sniper in the background. Taylor Swift.
For Travis Kelce, I'm not your dragon either, Ryan. He unfollowed the actor on Instagram. We're gonna come back to the reasons in a second and go through the details, but I wanna rewind and show everybody what a weekend it was. Now, this was the weekend of the time, or I guess the Friday-ish.
Her silence was louder than a Super Bowl performance. Not a like, not a comment, not a repost. The woman who can sneeze and trend for 48 hours didn't lift a finger. That's not shade. That's a clear divide, a digital divorce, and all of it unfolding at the exact moment Blake Lively's circus of lawsuits and surveillance came crashing down in public. You can't script this, or, well, you can, if your PR team is working overtime like hers clearly is.
But Blake is loving it. She is loving the attention. Ryan is loving the attention. He's getting tanner by the minute. So many people have commented on his tan.
Now, let's talk about the PR stunt that Blake and Ryan tried to pass off as a normal weekend. I'm not kidding. 2 events in 48 hours, full glam, red carpets, hand-holding, forced smiles. First, the Time 100 Gala on Thursday. Then, they jet to Wrexham's win on Friday. And let me tell you, the smiles were so big, you'd think they just won the lottery. Not that Blake was facing accusations of legal manipulation and phone hacking behind the scenes. Like, girl, we see you.
I can't knock the Wrexham fans out there who are enjoying this win, which Ryan and Rob, to both of their credit, helped to get this team where it's at. It's just frustrating to see that she got to get shoehorned in there.
They tried to package it like some romantic power couple tour. You know, the we're still unproblematic bundle, but the rest of us are out here dodging subpoenas and trying to follow legal filings like we're watching an episode of Scandal. Meanwhile, Blake's on Instagram posting odes to her husband's soccer club like she's Mother Teresa in a Givenchy gown.
She's gushing over the win as well, and of course posting all her pictures from the day. And there she is, of course, and I don't like her style. I just don't like it. Yeah, there she. Anyway.
And you know what really killed me? Ryan. Being Ryan, using Wrexham, a town that actually loves him, as a shield. He and Rob McElhenney helped revive it, sure, but now it's being used as a PR cloak to hide the fact that his wife is spiraling harder than a TikTok apology tour.
They showed up in Wales cheering on Ryan Reynolds' football team or soccer team, Wrexham. They were all over the place, all over the arena.
And let's not forget, Blake didn't just attend Wrexham's win. She inserted herself into it. Full glam, posing like she's the team mascot, except instead of cheering, she's sneakily deflecting lawsuits with every photo op. The whole thing felt less like a celebration and more like a distraction. And she's not even subtle about it.
They were PDAing all over the place, kissing and showing the world how much they love each other and how strong and united they are.
She's out here like a Walmart Meghan Markle playing royal adjacent and hijacking moments that aren't even about her. I mean, at this point, the only sport she's playing is deflection. We're talking spy games, and not the cool kind where you wear sunglasses and save the world. No. We're talking illegal iCloud access.
There was a bombshell. Jones allegedly had access to Jennifer Abel's cloud account and had access until January of this year. What Abel could not foresee was that Jones and Jones' work gross invasion of her privacy would not stop upon her departure. In fact, it escalated.
Legal documents came out? Yes. Actual court filings, not tabloid junk, confirming that Stephanie Jones had access to Jennifer Abel's iCloud account until January 2025. January.
Stephanie Jones has had Jennifer Abel's phone this whole time, pretty much, getting her legal notes, getting all of her correspondence, private correspondence, for months.
As in, months after their working relationship was over. Let that sink in. We're not just talking, oops, I still had the password. We're talking about full-on live surveillance of texts, doctor conversations, legal counsel, and personal communication. Real time. This wasn't snooping. This was digital stalking with federal-level consequences.
Guys, a bunch of legal papers dropped last night revealing a ton of bombshells.
And guess whose name pops up in coordination with all of this? Go on. Say it with me. Blake freaking Lively. Her legal team allegedly used those stolen messages to fuel a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Because why stop at one career when you can try to torch two? I mean, how do you go from starring in a mid-budget sequel to allegedly coordinating the digital theft of private medical texts? The woman's got range.
But anyways, the hypocrisy here is just so absurd. And just the fact that Blake is out and about like this, as I said yesterday, it's so bad for her lawsuit.
But Blake? She's untouchable, or at least she thinks she is. Because if you go by her red carpet behavior, you'd never know she was involved in anything shady.
Their friends were there to support them. Hugh Jackman stepped out. Even Emily Blunt, which, I like Emily Blunt. It sucks that she showed up at that and gave them a hug and was so excited to see Ryan Reynolds.
She's hugging Anna Kendrick, mingling with Emily Blunt, and pretending her world premiere wasn't timed to overshadow the fact that she might have used illegally obtained messages as evidence in court. If that's not Hollywood privilege, I don't know what is.
Here she is with Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick got the note. All right, stop. Be nice to Blake, it seems. And here they are. Hugging.
Now imagine being Ryan Reynolds in all this. You wake up, see Travis Kelce has unfollowed you, and the internet is melting down. And you know exactly why. Because people aren't stupid. They see the glamour overload, and then they see the court filings, and they start asking questions. And you're just sitting there like, hey guys, look at Wrexham. Isn't it inspiring? No, Ryan. Not today. Not when your wife is out here doing a villain origin arc with an iPhone and a subpoena.
And then on top of that, Travis is like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm unfollowing him. I don't want to see him in my feed. I can't stand it anymore.
So yes, Travis Kelce unfollowed Ryan. And the internet lost its mind because for once, it wasn't just fan gossip. It was a clear, intentional signal. A real-life celebrity saying, nope, I'm not going down with this sinking ship. And when you realize it happened right as Blake Lively's lawsuit mess hit peak exposure, that's not coincidence. That's precision. That's someone with eyes, ears, and just enough patience to say, I've had enough. And honestly, same.
He could have muted him, but he chose to unfollow him. Amidst all this positive press and everything that's out there, I really do believe Travis, Taylor, and many others are starting to really figure out who these two are.
Let's talk about this ridiculous thing called the Vanzin Inc. lawsuit. Because if Blake Lively's PR team thought they were slick, they might want to try hiding their tracks with something other than a shell corporation from the Jurassic era. So here's what happened. Blake's squad allegedly pulled a lawsuit out of thin air using Vanzin Inc., which, surprise, surprise, was basically inactive, irrelevant, and possibly just an empty legal sock puppet. Why? Simple. They needed to retroactively slap a legal excuse on what they'd already done. Stealing texts, violating privacy, and cooking up a fake narrative like it's a Netflix thriller.
With this information, if this is true, remember we were talking about how this is an attack back on Baldoni, but Baldoni can go, if Lively is acting in malice, she doesn't get protection under 47.1. This information, that their continued access to the iCloud account, that this was a sham subpoena, will help Baldoni block and completely undo any effect.
And here's the kicker. This wasn't even about winning in court. No, it was about fooling the press, specifically the New York Times, into thinking this stolen data had some sort of legal legitimacy. Because even they were like, yeah, sorry, this smells like rotten hummus in a Gucci bag. The Times straight up refused to touch the story unless it came with a subpoena. And not just any subpoena, a real one. Not whatever Blake's team printed off Microsoft Word at 3 a.m.
That the New York Times was telling them, giving them notice, like, this doesn't look legit. And in reaction to that, instead of going, okay, don't use it, we'll be above board, they created this sham lawsuit.
So, naturally, Blake's camp, being the overachieving PR addicts they are, manufactured the subpoena. That's not journalism. That's stagecraft with a legal letterhead. The goal was simple: create plausible deniability. Make it look legal so when things go south, which they absolutely did, they could all go, oh no, we had a subpoena, totally above board. Meanwhile, that document was about as real as Blake's public humility. What they did with that stolen data? Oh, you'll love this.
Something that is wrongful, is it illegal? That's the first thing. And I'm assuming someone on Jones's side is trying to figure out how do they make it legal. Then the second thing is that was there at one point, once the litigation started, an obligation to give notice to Abel that, like, hey, I have access to this stuff, either change your number or change or use another phone because, I don't know, maybe the number belongs to Jones. Those are the big implications.
They cherry-picked and manipulated texts from Jennifer Ailes' phone. Texts that were accessed illegally and framed both AL and Justin Baldoni as villains. Like some sort of villain origin montage where the hero is Blake Lively wearing a smug smile and pretending this wasn't all a strategic hit job. It's like Mean Girls if Regina George had an elite law firm and a Vanity Fair subscription.
The second thing is it's called self-help, which we have talked about before, which is chances are that she's continuing to get things, she being Jones is probably continuing to get things that probably in their mind helped or may not help the litigation.
And look, this isn't me being harsh. This is in writing, in legal filings no less. They literally accuse Blake's team of abusive process, which is legal talk for you used the court system like it was your personal Instagram story filter. If anyone else pulled a stunt like this, they'd be dragged on every legal show from The View to Law & Order, SVU. But because it's Blake, we're all just supposed to smile, clap, and pretend she's not orchestrating lawsuits like she's running a PR war room in a bunker. Now, here's where it gets dark. And no, I don't mean serious. I mean actual Blake Lively admitted this is who she is. Dark.
Here was her response.
Is a bit darker in nature. How was it getting in touch with your darker side?
It was just more like all the facades that I put up, I just had to let go, so you guys got to see the real me. I'm just a dark, horrible person, and I just got to let my flag fly. So there you go, this is the real me.
Back in 2008, during the Simple Favor promo tour, she straight up said her dark, horrible side is the real her. She didn't even flinch, just casually told the press, yeah, that scary, manipulative character, that's basically me without caffeine. At the time, we laughed. Now, we're watching her act it out in real time. Only now, it's with subpoenas and spy tactics, not stilettos and smirks.
Parading down the street like they did no wrong, Like, all is well. Oh, I got to celebrate how much of an advocate I am for women, and Time celebrated me. And then my husband gets to go, and the whole town celebrates him. Yay. And then I get to go to my world premiere. It sure doesn't look like you got any damages, girl. Looks like everything's just going hunky-dory for you.
Cut to 2025, and the transformation is complete. She's not even hiding it anymore. From spy-level iCloud hacks to media manipulation through fake lawsuits, the girl boss mask is off. And what's left is someone so obsessed with image control that she's allegedly out here violating federal laws just to make sure her narrative wins the headline war.
But what we love about Emily, and particularly when Blake was playing Emily, is that she has this kind of like intimidating nature to her, but she's also like very sharp. They're both the
intimidating. She's very intimidating indeed. In fact, E.T. straight out asked.
And can we please talk about that Simple Favor sequel premiere? Paul Feig, the actual director, called her intimidating. Not in a charming, she's fierce way. No, he looked like a guy who just signed an NDA and was praying the cameras would cut away.
Then Blake, the next night, stepped out for the Another Simple Favor premiere in New York City amid all the legal drama. And she came out. We got a lot of clips here. I'll show you the clips. Here's Ryan and Blake stepping out.
Beautiful couple. Stay in black. Stay in black.
You could feel it. The awkwardness. The press holding their breath like they were one wrong question away from being sued. And Blake? She's floating through it all like she's on a Met Gala carpet, not standing in the middle of a legal disaster she allegedly helped orchestrate. The delusion is astounding. It's like she's living in a separate timeline where public perception bends to the force of her wardrobe choices. Girl, you're not at Coachella. You're being called out in federal filings.
Now, look, I don't think she's ever going to have any accountability for what she did. I don't. Look at her. Just eating it up at this premiere. She is in her dress.
And then there's Ron Zambrano, the lawyer every messy celebrity should fear more than a TMZ headline. This man didn't mince words. He said Blake's team might have pulled off something so sketchy, her lawyers could get disqualified entirely. Let me repeat that. Disqualified. As in, you don't even get to play lawyer anymore if the court finds out you were digging through attorney-client messages like they were TMZ leaks.
Yes. So he is able, through using this prefix, to put in allegations that he's doing in good faith, and I believe that they're being done in good faith, in order for it to to prevent another attack on the complaint.
Zambrano didn't stop there. He called this self-help gone rogue, which, let's be honest, is just a classy way of saying you cheated and you got caught. Because apparently, Blake's legal strategy was don't prove your point, just secretly download someone's personal life, sift through the chaos, and drop it in a courtroom like it's a PowerPoint presentation, all while pretending it's totally normal and above board.
Every time there's a new amended version of any type of either answer or claim, the other side gets a new opportunity to attack it with a motion to dismiss or what we call a motion to strike.
But it's not just disqualification on the table. Oh no, the ripple effect here is massive. Because these sketchy tactics open the door for new counterclaims from Baldoni and Aiel, including invasion of privacy and, yep, more abuse of process. Which means instead of bearing the controversy, Blake might have just lit a bigger fire under it. You'd think someone who lives on red carpets would know what a spotlight does, right?
Well, she hasn't suffered anything, like the CEO of the Time 100 Gala said.
I think she's having a great year.
She's having a great year.
So let's talk about when even the New York freaking Times went, yeah, this is a little too sketchy even for us. That's right. The same outlet that's published everything from political exposés to think pieces about oat milk refused to run Blake Lively's story. Why? Because it reeked. Literally. The second her team handed over those texts, the Times looked at them and basically said, did you get these legally? Because this smells like an FBI problem waiting to happen.
So like very sharp. They're both the
Intimidating. She's very intimidating indeed. In fact, E.T. straight out asked,
the perfect Emily.
why is Blake the perfect Emily? Prompting Paul to answer, are they the same?
Blake just embodies Emily in a way that's hilarious because Blake in real life is nothing like Emily.
So instead of backing off and letting the truth run its course, like normal, non-unhinged people, Blake's camp allegedly decided to get creative. And by creative, I mean manufacture a whole fake lawsuit using Vans and ink to make it look like they got the texts the proper way. This wasn't just shady. This was full-blown Hollywood illusionist behavior, and not the cool kind like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. More like pulling a subpoena out of a shredder.
Was just acting really awkward. It's just so fake. It's just a show of fakeness at this point. It's ridiculous.
And the NYT? They still weren't buying it. Internal staff discussions reportedly showed ethical discomfort because even journalists have a line, and Blake's team apparently pole vaulted over it with zero shame. The idea was simple. Slap some legal dressing on the whole thing and hope nobody notices the mess underneath. But everyone noticed.
If the New York Times told them they're not going to perpetuate in a lie, and this other Van Zandt complaint came in to really maybe mislead or assuage the fears of the New York Times, when Lively's team knew they were not true in the beginning.
While her PR team was busy spinning fairy tales, Travis Kelce was busy unfollowing Ryan Reynolds, and it hit harder than Blake's entire filmography. This wasn't just petty shade. It was industry-level rejection, the kind that whispers louder than 1,000 red carpet photos. Kelce's move wasn't subtle. It was a public, I want no part of this chaos. And when a guy who's dating Taylor Swift won't touch your mess, that's a red flag with fireworks.
Proud of Travis Kelce for doing his little subtle protest here, because it is a big move. Taylor Swift isn't allowed to make a comment like that. She just doesn't. Her brand's too big. She can't get involved. She's way too involved with Blake.
Blake's PR shield didn't just crack. It shattered. For years, she's coasted on aesthetics. Pastel outfits, Instagram-ready kids, and relatable captions written by ghostwriters. But now the aesthetic isn't quirky mom with a dry sense of humor. It's allegedly manipulative mastermind running media stunts with forged lawsuits. The glow-up? Canceled. But while we're on the subject of damage control, let's talk about Ryan Reynolds, the human version of a well-filtered shrug.
He is getting darker and darker.
Because honestly, at this point, he needs to pick a side. Either he's just here for the soccer, or he's the silent enabler in a high-budget character assassination plot. According to new filings, Ryan wasn't just aware. He was allegedly approving strategic media placements that painted Baldoni and Ale as the villains. So much for being Canada's sweetheart. This man showed up to everything. The Wrexham win, the Time 100 gala, the Simple Favor premiere.
And if you already run down by all the stress and trauma you've experienced in your life, I find it so hard to believe that you can do something like that. And also being in public all the time.
With the energy of someone who definitely knows where the bodies are buried, but is hoping a good suit and a forced smirk will keep people distracted. And it worked, for about 12 hours. Then social media did what it does best and lit him up. People are literally saying he's no longer Deadpool. Now he's Blake Lively's damage control intern. And honestly, that title fits better than anything he's done since Free Guy.
Emily Blunt was at the premiere, along with Hugh Jackman. It's like nothing ever happened. They're at this premiere like nothing ever happened. Oh yeah, everything's good. Everything's good.
It's wild to think how far this has spiraled. Ryan could have sat this one out. Could have quietly cheered for Wrexham and let Blake handle her own mess. But no. He had to be front and center, playing the role of loyal husband in public, while his wife allegedly plotted one of the most over-the-top PR schemes this side of Scientology. And now, he's catching shrapnel because the internet doesn't do nuance. It does receipts, screenshots, and unfollow notifications.
Looks like everything's just going hunky-dory for you. Honestly, they're doing everything they can to just keep moving forward. And if they hadn't done this lawsuit against Justin and made these ridiculous claims, I wouldn't be here reporting about any of this, to be honest.
The Kelk moment, that blessed unfollow that triggered a digital landslide. We're talking millions of reposts, likes, quote tweets, memes, think pieces, even celebrity shade from people who hadn't posted since 2017 suddenly woke up like, wait, what did Blake do now? It became the cultural equivalent of the Berlin Wall falling, but with Instagram and legal drama instead of geopolitics.
I can understand why he wants to support his wife. I applaud any man who does and any wife who stands by their man. But he's way more involved in this than he wants to admit. It's so clear as day what he's doing to Justin and the gaslighting they're both doing. It's just too hard to ignore. I can't ignore it anymore. And it makes me look at him differently.
This isn't just some tabloid detour. This is federal level drama. We're talking about wiretap violations, sham subpoenas, and a woman who allegedly coordinated it all while posing for Vogue spreads. The PR curtain isn't just slipping, it's on fire, and the fire marshal is already calling TMZ. Even media outlets that usually play it safe, ET, TMZ, the NYT, they're all treading carefully now. Because Blake Lively has gone from Hollywood it girl to walking legal landmine, and nobody wants to be the next outlet caught platforming her story without asking a lawyer first. The days of unbothered PR fluff are officially over. Blake isn't the story anymore. She's the cautionary tale.
Like Ryan Reynolds is saying to the fans, oh, hold on here, don't push each other. And then he says, I just care about your safety, not mine. I'm not, like, what? That's such BS.
And honestly, she earned it. She spent years selling us this curated version of herself. The relatable wife, the loving mom, the cheeky red carpet commentator. But behind all that, allegedly, a woman who will violate privacy laws, manipulate media outlets, and weaponize her husband's fame just to crush anyone who dares call her out.
He's just on autopilot pretending to be a supportive husband. I don't believe this for a second.
So now here we are. Travis Kelce has unfollowed. Ryan Reynolds is being called out as a silent partner in PR crime. The press is freezing her out. And Blake? She's still posting like it's 2015, like nothing's wrong, like people haven't caught on. But people have caught on. And the fallout? It's coming faster than a subpoena with her name on it. The world is watching now. Not because of a movie, not because of a dress, but because the facade finally cracked. And what spilled out wasn't the quirky girl next door. It was someone allegedly willing to bend or break a law to control the narrative. And the more she pretends it's business as usual, the worse it looks. So tell me this, should Ryan Reynolds finally wake up and run for the hills, or is he already in too deep? Because if there's one thing this saga proves, it's that silence isn't neutral, it's complicity. And if he's not careful, Blake's next headline won't be about a red carpet. It'll be about who's standing next to her in court.